What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Kaden, man. And shit, we about to get straight to it, biggest dog. We're about to get straight to it. This time, y'all, give me a second while I get everything together. This is my first time using okay. I have no clue what's happening right now. Trying to make sure I'm streaming via yes. Okay. Why haven't we popped up yet? Okay. Why haven't we popped up yet? Alright, so I see I'm online with everybody. I'm working out a new program, y'all, so y'all be patient with me this week. But no, I want to switch everything up though. I kind of want to switch things up. I want to get to the point where I am able to talk about a myriad of things, because a couple people left comments like, hey, like, feels like you regurgitating the same points over, and you know, it's only because it's only so many things you could tell people about the subject that you're talking about. And you know what, I agree. I actually very much agree with that. So I'm gonna make this week more so about talking about things that you need advice on outside of, you know, getting your girl back or no contact or any of those things. Like, so whenever y'all pop in here, whenever y'all start leaving comments in the chat, I'm gonna start. We gonna get it together, bro. Like, and it's gonna be what it is, you know. So let's do it. Advice on outside, like, and like I said, let's do it. Let's do it. That's it. Man, it's like 5 of them popping up. What's today? I don't know what this is. Let's delete that. Okay. Cool. Alright. Anyway, so I'm gonna let a few of y'all get in the building. Y'all should be able to hear me well. Everything should be set. Again, it's my first time working in this program, so I'm a little excited about that. I got some new and exciting things coming for y'all. I got some more capabilities. Also, one thing that I want to start doing is reacting to videos that y'all send me. So I want to do that too. React to some videos, give y'all my opinion on some things. Let y'all kind of, you know, get a good insight into my mindset about certain things that's going on, certain people that's going on, or whatever. And I completely got these ideas from y'all. So, and I take this, and I take heavily into account what y'all guys be saying in the comments. I might not always get a chance to respond to all the comments, but I'm reading all the comments, and I'm like trying to implement the things that like make sense for the channel, and trying to implement the things that make sense, you know, for just getting guys to the place where they want to be, whether that be being successful in no contact or being successful, more successful in their lives, bro, and meeting me in a place of the success that I've like grown and learned to find or whatever. But I guess one thing I want to talk about is like everybody when you trying to do this shit. Everybody, when you trying to be better or become a better person or a better version of yourself, they not gonna buy into your system, dog. Everybody not gonna buy into what you got going on. Everybody not gonna understand it, because a lot of people, you have to meet them where they are. And sometimes it's not even worth interacting with people if you have to meet them where they are, because that brings you so far below your own standard that that's not a person you need to be interacting with. So some of you guys, you diminish your own value as a man by interacting with these people you know don't have the best interest for you. And they might not even necessarily have bad intentions for you. They might not necessarily want you to not succeed. They just might not be able to understand the level of success that you are trying to reach, bro. And I felt that so much in my life. Like, it's so few people. I can literally count them on my hands. One of the niggas sitting next to me. Like, I can literally count them on my hands, bro. How many people could actually understand the level of success that I was trying to reach and didn't try to give me advice that was counterintuitive to that, or didn't try to deter me from actually doing that. Oh, you starting a YouTube channel? Why don't you get a real job? Like, why don't you get a job? Like, now what? Now what they say? Successful consultation business, successful YouTube channel, couple successful other businesses that's growing. I'm learning. And it's all because I had that unwavering belief in myself. And obviously, I'm in the trenches with y'all, so I'm still growing and learning and all of this stuff too, always. But you got to get to this space where you block out the noise, bro. And so you can't let your own arrogance affect you. And I say your own arrogance because it takes arrogance. Like, you have to be so full of yourself and so into you to not be able to get over people's criticisms about you, right? You have to be so into what you got going. Like, you got to be so self-conscious to not be able to get over people's criticisms. Adam, what up, bro? He said, bro, so many girls need to heal, especially fearful, avoidant exes. They come back, get intimate, feel they've got close, and then they run, rinse and repeat. They're not healthy. Do they recognize it? And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Because that's one of those topics where stop expecting people to recognize what they doing to you. Stop expecting people to recognize that they're hurting you. If someone is going to keep on doing something to you, if someone is going to keep on hurting you, if someone is going to keep on, like, keep this thing up that you know is negative towards you and for you, at some point you just got to be like, all right, you know what? Let me separate myself from this. Because that person not going to wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm a piece of shit. Or wake up one day and go, you know, I'm doing a cycle. I'm in a cycle, a toxic cycle for me, a toxic cycle for you, and a toxic cycle for everything around me. Nah, that's the exact reason why when most women raise children in a single mother home, the kids they end up either more likely to go to prison or more likely to be criminals or more likely to do that. It's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because they're never going to wake up and recognize the cycles that they're in. They're never going to wake up and recognize the cycles that they're continuing, bro. And so for you to recognize the cycle, for you to recognize what's going on with somebody, for you to recognize that she doing what she doing and that it's going to keep on repeating itself, the onus of responsibility falls on your shoulder to stop the cycle for yourself, bro. To stop your part in the cycle. Because she ain't gonna wake up one day and be like, you know what? I've been hurting this man. I've been being the biggest piece of shit I could be towards him. I've been being hot and cold towards him. I've been treating him some type of way and putting him in a place where he's unsure about what's going on with us and all of that. You know, and that's hurting him. I should really stop doing that. She not going to wake up one day and do that. And I'm not saying it's not possible she can't wake up one day and do that, but don't depend on it, bro. It's so much more likely to not happen than to happen that it's not even worth depending on, my dude. It's just not. He said, facts, bro. Thing is, even if you block them, they find a way to contact you still. You gotta just be strong enough to understand what you want and where you want to go, and not respond. Just because somebody contacts you, don't mean they get contacted back, like at all. And they can know what they doing. They can definitely know what they doing. They can definitely understand what they doing. That don't mean they gonna stop. People do what's worked for them. People do what they're comfortable with for the most part. That's why people who step into discomfort end up ultimately more successful. It's so easy to be successful because most people aren't willing to be in discomfort. That's just the truth. And so people gonna keep on doing what they comfortable with. If her comfort zone is doing toxic shit and fucking you over because of it, that's what she gonna keep doing, because that's what's her comfort zone. That's her comfort zone. Her comfort zone is being whatever she gonna do, and asking her to change is asking her to step into discomfort, which most people, they're not willing to do. They're not willing to go that far, and they're not willing to do that, bro. Ron, what up, bro? What up, bro? How you feeling, dog? Yeah. So, as I was saying, bro, I want to switch it up, though. Like, whenever y'all coming, I'm going to keep this live short, but I just want to throw that PSA out there. Like we going to switch it up. We going to switch up the topics on the channel. We going to switch up what we talk about. We going to switch up our, like, the way we go at this or whatever. Like, and of course, I'm still going to consult guys and help guys with dealing with these women and these new generation of modern women who, they're a different breed, bro. Like, they're not like your grandma. They not. They're a different breed. They don't care. They don't have the level of care, the same level of care that women in the past used to have. And I don't think guys were necessarily equipped for that transformation. And so, like, with the rise of feminism and with the rise of all of this gynocentric bullshit out here, like, people weren't equipped for a generation of women who, honestly, they are not in touch with their feminine spirit the way that they should be. And so when they do these things, when they fuck you over like this, they don't really care about the fact that they did, bro. They don't really care. They feel like everything's an eye for an eye. Everything's like, oh, well, a man can do it. Why shouldn't I be able to do it? Because you ain't got a dick, bitch. Like, that's why you shouldn't be able to do it. Like, and it's so many things that can so simply be explained, but everything has to be complicated. It has to be complicated because of this new way of thinking, and this new way of thinking is terrible. And I want to guide guys through that, man, because, like, it is stupid. Adam said, I really like your videos on no contact. Be silent. He said, when you focus on yourself, they stalk your socials. They have big FOMO. For sure. And I appreciate that, dog. I'm not going to stop those videos. Like, that's what this channel was kind of built on. I just want to expand out more so that, you know, it's other areas that all come back into this, bro. Like I talk success a lot, for example. I talk success a lot. And I talk, like, striving towards success and working on yourself. But to go in depth into success and working on yourself and what that means and what that looks like, that doesn't mean like, oh, well, I created a business email yesterday or whatever, and I started a LLC. That's not success, dog. She's not, like, you in no contact. That's not gonna make anybody go, oh, you know, he's really changing. He's really doing something for himself. He's really, nigga, you know how many people got LLCs and you know how many people got a business? No, I'm talking about finding something consistently and doing that thing at a level that no one else is willing to do it at, or at least the majority of people is willing to do it at. Because guess what? When you want something that people don't have, or when you want something that somebody else can't have, you got to do something that somebody else not willing to do. And so the same thing goes for these women, bro. The woman that you want, obviously somebody else can have her. Obviously somebody else could do what you doing because you're not doing enough. And so if you even in no contact, that's just a prerequisite to no contact, because you in no contact for a reason. You in no contact because you couldn't get that woman under control. You in no contact because that woman ended up leaving you because she thought it was something better on the other side. or you in no contact because y'all quote unquote mutually decided to split up, which just means she left you and you agreed with it on some soft shit, and now you scrambling to try to get her back because you wouldn't even be paying attention to no contact if you wasn't in one of those positions. And so to never be in that position again, to end up in a space where alcoholic coffee time, hold on. If you need a consultation, man, it's going to be in the link of the description for the guys watching on the other side. But if you in that space and you need to understand that the one thing that you cannot skimp on, the one thing that is always going to lend to your success with doing these things is working on you. And by working on you, I mean picking something. Picking two things. I'm not one of them people who like, oh, you can't be doing two things at once. You absolutely can. Like, you absolutely can. Don't spread yourself too thin. Know your limits. Know how far you can stretch yourself, and know how far you can be consistent and successful at something. Because a lot of you guys, you lack consistency. That's why you can't stay in no contact. You lack consistency. You cannot be consistent at something. It took me like 4 years, 5, I don't know how many years it took me of making videos before one of my videos popped off. Like before I stopped getting like 10 views and 15 views and 7 views and shit like that. It took me, I don't know how long, but I just stayed consistent with it, bro. And consistency brought me the amount of success that I got. Now, do I want to be more successful? Absolutely. But guess what's going to bring that? Consistency, dog. Figuring out what works. Figuring out what don't work. A lot of you guys, you can't even stay in no contact because you cannot stay consistent. Because you give in to your whims, bro. You give in to your feelings. You give in to the fact that it's hard right now. I miss her. She might be out there getting double stroke glocking somebody else, bro. Right now. She in the front row seat to the basketball game. And Russell Westbrook putting 8 inches in her. So, bro, like, why don't you bug up and get you a woman who wouldn't do that? Why don't you bug up and get you a quality of woman who you don't have to worry about that with? Why don't you bug up, get yourself together, and get to the space where even if you were with that woman that you want to be with, she knows your value, and she knows that she would be fumbling the bag if she did any of that. If she left you, if she treated you badly, if she did any of this, if she wasn't on her best behavior, why don't you get yourself to that space? That way you undeniable, bro. And so if she do deny you, it's because she's a Fruit Loop, not because of you. But I can't say that for most guys. Most guys cannot get in that space where they're like, hey, yo, it's not me. Or I didn't do anything wrong. Or no, bro, it's always gonna be you. Because you could change you. You can't change her, dog. I just went on a kind of a rant, bro. But I felt like all of that needed to be said. Adam said, if a woman wants to end it, you don't even reply to her message. The best thing is being silent, and they question everything and create things in their own mind. Very true. Or own head, my bad. Make videos on getting your body right, going to the gym, getting into combat sports and how it helps. I absolutely want to make a video on that. Combat sports, I absolutely want to make a video on getting your body right. I think my next video, so y'all need to pull up to it, man, and stop playing. My next video gonna be on curating your friend circle and how certain friends shouldn't be around you, and how you shouldn't put up with certain friends from any woman that you want to deal with. Because if they got certain friends telling them certain shit, you shouldn't put up with them. But that's what that next video gonna be about, and it's gonna be a good video, dog. So pull up for it. He said, my ex broke no contact because she knew I wouldn't message her after she left. I know what you're like. Yeah, exactly. And that need to be the attitude. I like that. I like that, bro. The attitude need to be, she's so aware of the fact that you ain't gonna chase her. She's so aware of the fact that You can be with somebody else at a whim. You can get somebody else at a whim, or you could just be alone. That's something nobody talk. You could just be alone, bro, and you happy with being alone because you would rather be by yourself, bro. You would rather be in a space where you're cool and on your own than be in a space with someone who isn't treating you well, or be in a space with someone who is making your life way worse than it has to be. You would rather be alone, bro. And so she need to understand that. And so the only way a woman gonna understand that, whether she left you already, whether she treating you bad currently, whether you dealing, whatever you dealing with right now, the only way a woman is gonna understand that is when she's not the focal point of your life. When she feels like there are other things that you can focus on or be focused on, bro, guess what's gonna happen? She gonna, he said they always, the Rain channel, they always gonna spin back. They sure are. But what happens is when you realize that they're not gonna, like, shit, I lost my train of thought. My bad. They're not gonna realize that until you have something else to focus on. Until there's something you so into, so obsessed with, so captivated by, that they realize that they are no longer the center of attention. And let's talk about it. All women, all of them, a little bit narcissistic, bro. They all a little narcissistic. And since they all a little narcissistic, they all want to be the center of attention, especially from the dude that they quote unquote like. So if that dude is paying attention to something, if that dude is obsessing over something else, if that dude feels like something else is the center or the light of his life, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to let you use context clues on that one, bro. So pick a thing, dog. For me, it was YouTube. For me, personally, it was YouTube. I picked up YouTube, bro. I was in a poly relationship at the time. And I picked it up just to kind of vent some of my feelings, just kind of teach guys who wasn't where I was at the time. Just to, like, I picked up YouTube for that. And I just got on video and I started talking. And I started liking it more and more and more and more and more. And I kept doing it over and over and over again. And guess what? After a while, I started to see success in a big way. And I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about in my personal life, because I understood that there was something more important than that woman who was giving me all of these crazy notions and crazy feelings and blah, blah, blah. It was something more important, bro. And so since something was more important, they always knew, bitch, you on thin ice and you could slip through the cracks in a second. You on thin ice and I'm not above stomping on the fucking ice. I'm not above it. So don't play with me. And you gotta be in that space, bro. You gotta be in that space as a man, because ain't no woman ever gonna come back to a dude who chasing her. She gonna use you as a backup zone. She gonna use you, because it's in her nature. And it ain't even malicious. It's just in her nature. Ain't no woman ever gonna want to deal with a dude who she perceive as weak. And you wanna know how she perceive you as weak? When she can puppet string you and get whatever she want from you. Of course she gonna perceive you as weak. That's a weak man to her. So ain't no woman ever gonna be after that kind of dude. Ain't no woman ever gonna reach back out to a dude who she don't miss. How she gonna miss you if you there all the time? How she gonna miss you if you texting her all the time? How she gonna miss you if you giving her updates on everything that's going on in your life, bro? How she gonna miss you? And I'm not, believe it or not, I'm not even the biggest fan of taking women back. I don't take exes back personally at this point. I'm not even the biggest fan of taking women back. I'm just giving you the game and letting you use it how you see fit. That being said, like, if you are going to take a woman back, it's going to be in a space where you control the action. How you ever going to control the action if whenever she comes back, you fall right back into the same patterns and attitudes? And the only way to change the same patterns and attitudes is to change habits. And the only way to change habits is to change focus. It's to go and do something, bro. One thing, I got a rule for myself. And I know people in my life who know me very well. And I know people in my life, they wonder, like, yo, you've done so many things. Like, you've gotten into so many things. You've tried so many things. And they wonder, like, am I trying too many things? But I got like a rule. If I want to do something, I'm going to start doing it first. And then I'm going to do it long enough to figure out I don't want to do it. Or if I want to do it. Right? And so I would rather be in that space because I recognize that eventually something is going to be extremely successful when you take raw action towards something, towards things. And so you need to take action, bro. You got to have focus, and you got to be in a space where you strong enough to be like, man, fuck that bitch, bro. Fuck her. You ain't want me? I bet. I'm finna show you why that was the biggest fumble of the bag you ever had. You ain't want me? I bet. I'm about to show you how much better I can do. Use it as fuel, dog. Like, there's nobody who I would call a simp or anything like that for using that shit as fuel, bro. Use it as fuel to become the best version, the best warrior, the best man you could become, bro. And then you could look back and laugh. Oh man, that 6 to me now. She used to be an 8 to me. She really a 6 compared to the women I'm seeing now. That 6 to me now didn't want me. LOL. Now I got women like her hitting me up on a daily basis, and I don't even want them women because I've graduated to a higher plane, bro. I'm in a deeper state of my meditation. Like, bro, y'all got to get there, bro. You got to get there. That's the only way you're going to feel it. He said, hold on. Adam said, asking me about other girls. Bitch, you left me. Yeah, that's what they'll do because they want to keep you in backup zone. They want to keep you in a backup zone. They want you to always be theirs, but they don't want to always be yours. And so you got to look at that and take that for what it is. The Rain Channel said, I had to let that girl go. They always worried about the next girl, never what they do. And you know what? That is another thing. They're always worried about things outside of themselves. And you have to recognize that. Something that is always gonna blame something outside of itself has no control. So why the fuck would you let it lead and control you? Because it has no control. And I say it because a man can blame everybody but himself. And that man who blames everybody but him, he has no control over his life. People who blame themselves, people who take accountability for their actions, people who decide that they're gonna change something, those are the people who take control. That's called taking control, bro. That's what taking control is. So with women, a lot of times they don't want control. They want to cede that control over to someone they feel is strong enough or manly enough or whatever. Like, they want to cede that control over. And so a part of ceding that control over is they don't want to take accountability for shit. They don't want to make it seem as if it's their fault. But see, the thing about always putting always putting the blame on someone else is you don't grow that way. That's why you see a lot of women not move from where they at. They stay in the same space in life, and the only growth they have is with the man that they latch on to. They don't grow, and it's because they're not growing in accountability. They're not doing different things. They're not changing their bad habits because, let's just be honest, society don't make them. Society does not make them change their bad habits. They tell them it's okay. Oh, this bitch a fat cow. Oh, it's okay. You're still beautiful anyway. Body positivity. You're great. Bitch, you a cow. Go lose some weight. Hit the gym. But for you to say that, now you the worst person in the world, bro. Now you terrible. But it's about that accountability that make you grow. So you need to realize, hey, she ain't never gonna take accountability. She ain't never gonna recognize she terrible. Do I want this woman where she is? Because the likelihood she is only gonna grow as far as I drag her to, or who the next man drag her to. And so you have to realize where you are, and you have to realize where she is. Where this woman at? This woman that you waiting on. This woman that you not waiting on. This woman that you got rid of. This woman that you with right now. Where's she at, bro? Where's she at in her life? Where are you trying to go? And can you drag her there? Because the likelihood is you're going to have to drag her there. That's why it's faster to get somewhere single than it is in a relationship. You get further maybe in a relationship, but it's faster when you single because you're not dragging someone along with you. You're not dragging someone. And since every dude on this channel should be getting better every day, you getting better. So after a while, it's going to feel like, you know what? I can always do better. Then you can't wait to fire a bitch. Shout out to Goldie. You can't wait to fire a bitch. You can't wait to get rid of her. Because you always know, you know what? Hey, look, yo, if I was single, if I get rid of her, I'll do better. I could do better. I could get better. I could go harder. I could get something else, somewhere else, do something else. Like, so you better behave. You better act right. Like, I like you. I want to be with you. I want to continue this. I want X, Y, Z, etc. But you better behave because I've been growing so much. I've been stacking it up, stacking my wins up so much that I'm sure that I have outgrown you. So stop playing because I got to drag you, bro. You got to realize where these women at, bro, and where you willing to drag them to. He said, oh boy, I know she's jealous that I'm going to be posting content about my boxing and she's worried about other girls, even though she left because of her feel for attachment style. Here's what I'll say, Adam. I would say, don't worry about what she doing. All right, don't worry about how jealous, how mad she is. Jealousy, all right, cool, that's good. Like, be jealous. You fumbled the bag. You had me. You had me and you saw my potential, but you were so caught up in you that you didn't realize that you was fumbling the bag. And it's that simple. And so when you frame it like that in your brain, hey, she fumbling the bag. She not the prize here. You are. So it don't matter what she doing, bro. Post your content. Post your content with other girls. Do what you want to do, dog. Because at the end of the day, when she unilaterally decided to change the terms of y'all relationship, she asked for everything she was going to get. Raw said they also think that the grass is going to be green on the other side until they find out they're on their own. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Until 5 dudes cut them, right? And they think it's going to be something real. And they realize that those dudes on that level that they thought they was going to be able to get don't want them for real. That's when they want to come running back to you because you the best option. But that's at the point where you shouldn't even want to be dealing with that woman anymore. Because one, you didn't think I was on the level of them other dudes. So I'm going to prove you wrong on that front. And then number 2, you probably just got ran through a few times. You probably been, and I don't want to deal with a woman. Like, I got a rule about that. If a woman left me or I left a woman, however it worked, if we broke up and the second you fuck somebody else, it's a donezo. We done. That's it. That destroyed your chance of ever coming back into my stable as a main girl, as a girlfriend. You come back as a side piece, maybe, but nothing else. Like, that's the highest you ever gonna achieve on this mountain. Sorry. So you gotta keep it P. You got to. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here. Thanks everybody for pulling up or whatever. Like I said, I was gonna keep it short. I just wanted to test out my new program, and I wanted to like let y'all know that, you know, the channel gonna be turning a little bit, but we gonna stay the course, bro. Thanks everybody for pulling up, man. Get them likes up, bro. It's no way this many people should be in there, and I only got a couple likes. Get that up, bro. Get them likes up. It's your boy K the Rake, man. For the people on the other side, like, comment, subscribe. Get your consultation in the description below, bro. Stop playing if you need it.